Hi, it's Phil here from Spokes Education. We've been doing a series of videos on going from freelance to agency. We're going to do a bit of a new topic now. We're going to look at opportunities and we're going to start off with how to find them. So there's about three ways normally I kind of break down opportunities and into sort of three different categories. And the first one is referrals. So that can be referral from an existing client, a friend, someone you've worked with previously. And with referrals, that's how I started. Basically, I had a referral, and from that point, I did a contract, which then led to more referrals, and that's really what kind of got the ball rolling for me. And that came from someone that I just used to work with. The second category is repeat business. So once you've kind of already started working with the client, then they come back to you and ask you for more work. Yeah, I've got a friend with me today. Sorry. You want to say hello, Molly? Yeah, okay, there we go. Hopefully she'll settle down. It's a bit needed today, aren't you? Repeat business. So when you've got clients who come back to you and ask you for more work. Again, that's something that's been really, really important to us over time, and it really helps with the sustainability of your business. And then the third one is looking at kind of new opportunities, so bidding and tendering for things, that the kind of fresh and that you kind of see an opportunity normally advertised on some kind of website, and you're going into it a bit fresh and a bit new. So that's kind of the third one, and that for me is something that we didn't really do till a bit further down the line. But again, that's not necessarily something that I'd recommend doing straight off the bat. But we're going to talk about that a little bit more in another video. But it's something that will definitely help you take it to the next level, and that's what we did. Like I said, the kind of the referred and the repeat business is what kind of got us that sustainability, and it was the tendering that actually then pushed us to that next level, and it still is pushing us. And we're kind of going through some phases now of going for different types of tenders, going for bigger tenders. We've just won recently for something completely a little bit different to what we've done before. So we'll talk a little bit more about that in future videos. But for now, I just want to sort of concentrate on sort of that finding and where you go to find these opportunities. My first kind of contract job came from a referral from a colleague that I used to work with, and she asked if I was available to do so. I wasn't available, but I wanted to be, so I made myself available. I took some time off my full-time work to go and do this kind of freelance job. And I did that it was supposed to be for 2 months. It ended up being an 18-month contract, so I quit my full-time job, and that's what kind of got me into freelancing and contracting in the first place. Now, while I was doing that, I met lots of other people from all over the world doing lots of different things on this one contract alone, and that then led me to new work, and actually that led me then to my first project, someone I met through that, and so on and so on. And actually what happened over time is most of the first bits of work came from referrals from people who liked what I was doing, liked working with me, and that kind of built up. And then by the time I went to turn into an agency, I'd already built up a lot of good contacts with not necessarily with just in this industry, but within a range of industries across lots of different things. Now, something else that I was doing at the time, I was going to things like the Learning Technology Show. I was talking to LMS vendors. I was talking to other kind of suppliers and other freelance, other agencies, and trying to build up my kind of contacts and networks in that way as well. And something you're probably doing as a freelancer is you're probably working for other agencies. So, we as an agency, we contract freelancers. We've got numerous freelancers that we use on a regular basis. And what we've also done in the past as well is actually subcontracted full projects out. So again, this is an area you can look at. So if you're working with agencies, look about can I take more work on for you? That can start off quite small, and then it can grow over time. Something else you can do is talk to your kind of network, and look to kind of branch out. Use LinkedIn. It's a really powerful tool for branching out and networking. Get people to recommend you through using the kind of the LinkedIn tools, through Google reviews, all that kind of stuff. Start to build up your thing. Get some kind of testimonials together. Now that's going to come in handy for later down the line, but what it will also do, will start to get you a little bit more exposure. People will start to see your name come up, and hopefully that will kind of get you some traction as well. And people will start to think about you, and when something comes up, like I said, that's what happened with me. Someone else would hear about something. Oh, I know a guy that can help you, and they kind of referred it over to me. So that's kind of the referred side of things is really important to kind of get started just as a freelancer in general, but then also going into that agency, keep that up, keep kind of building that network, keep talking to people, and for me, like I said, when I find a good freelancer, if they turn around to me and said, look, I'm going to start a small agency, I'm not going to stop using them. If anything, that's going to be like, okay, great, that's great news for us, because we can then perhaps give you more work. We can rely on you for more things. It might kind of take away from something, but it will add something else. So yeah, definitely look at keeping your existing contacts as a freelancer. Let them know what you're doing. That's something I did as well. I let all my existing clients know what I was doing, that I was expanding, that we had more capability. And actually what that did as well, it opened more doors, because they're like, oh, okay, actually, can you help with this then? You're no longer a single person. You're now a small team that can actually help with these different things. And actually that then opened more doors for us with our existing client base as well. Which then goes on to the kind of the repeat business side. And again, that's something that's really, really important. Now, that repeat business for me is something that's probably the easiest thing to win. It's the easiest thing to keep going, as long as you're doing a good job. People, will stay with you if you're doing what you need them to do. You can think about it in any aspect of your life. Whether you go to hairdresser, not so much me, but if your hairdresser does a good job, why would you go and risk getting a haircut elsewhere? You're probably not. You're going to stick with what you know. You're going to stick with who you trust. And that works in any industry, and certainly works in our industry as well. So if you're doing a good job, then they're going to come back to you. And again, that might lead to more referrals. It's going to lead to more work. And again, as your capacity grows, then again, they're going to trust you. And it's something that happened with us as well. We were doing some e-learning work, and we picked up some animation work on the back of it, because they trusted us, they liked working with us. We hadn't really had much animation experience, but we proved we can do it. We proved that, we provide the service. And then we went about showing them that we could actually, give them what they needed, and that led to more work, helped us expand, and from there, that was really, in fact, that was the catalyst for us expanding in a big way. So yeah, for me, repeat business, that's the easiest thing for you to do. Do a great job with your existing clients, and there'll be give them no reason to look elsewhere. That's what I'm trying to say, I suppose. And that is, again, once you've kind of got that kind of solid client base, and you've got people constantly coming back to you, then you're going to set the foundations. You're going to set yourself you're going to make yourself sustainable, and give yourself that kind of ongoing income. Now, the last one, again, we can do another video, separate video on this one, but is around tendering and bidding for new work. And that's something that is something, again, we've done really, really well as an organisation, actually. And our track record, I think it's something like, I'll share this in the next video, but I think it's something like we've won over 40% of all tenders that we've gone for. And once we've been shortlisted, I think we've only ever lost once. And for me, it's fairly formulaic in how you can go about winning work, and how you can kind of make yourself an attractive proposition to somebody. And like I said, I'll be giving you some tips on how to do that. But in terms of finding those opportunities, quick bits now is that you can kind of look through the tendering websites. So there's various different tendering websites out there. Some pay subscription, but I think the one we use, I forgot what it's called, but it costs around about £400 a year. And for that, it pulls through lots and lots of different opportunities from all over the internet. It scours the internet and pulls them through. It's got a good search functionality. And we also are on things like the UN list. There's kind of the UK government sites. There's probably various ones for all different countries as well, if you're not UK based. So there's all these kind of tendering websites, and it is time consuming to put together tender, especially if you want to do it well. But obviously, it's high risk, high reward. Put a lot of time into it, and you can get a lot back out of it as well. And that's where, again, that's what's really kind of taken us to the next level now, is the kind of tendering work that we're doing now. We're now regularly winning, six-figure contracts from tendering opportunities. So yeah, that's the first one. You can also look at, once you're starting out, we were looking at things like Upwork, people per hour, not so much Fiverr, but those kind of websites are kind of the sites where you'll find smaller jobs. So if you've kind of got, you're kicking your heels, you've not got a lot on, it's well worth having a look at that. There's a lot of rubbish on there, if I'm going to be honest. But there are some good opportunities as well. And again, it's, spend a bit of time sniffing those out, just putting a bit of time in to kind of, put your name into the ring. And again, you can do that in a really, really time efficient way. Same way as if you were to do a CV for a job, you'd have your CV, you'd have a covering letter, and then you tailor it. You just take that kind of framework, tailor it, tweak it for each individual opportunity. You could do that really, really quickly. And like I said, with things like Upwork, you'll get a lot of rubbish on there and a lot of time wasters. But actually, one of the biggest opportunity, and the one that again I talked about earlier, actually came originally from Upwork, which led to about £25,000 or $25,000 contract initially, and that then led to I think it was $420,000 contract on the back of that, again from the repeat business. So it does get a little bit of bad stick, but it's well worth looking into. It's well worth just doing it. You might get lucky, but I would also say be careful with it. Don't overcommit to things. Don't spend loads and loads of time going for everything on there. Be very selective about what you go for, and that can be a good kind of starter. And it's also a good kind of starter into kind of the tendering. It's a good stepping stone towards going to tendering, because you're essentially, again, going fresh into things and you're looking at kind of new opportunities, and you're now becoming a salesperson ultimately and selling your services. So yeah, I'd recommend just having a look, seeing what's out there. Have a look at the tendering websites. There's a few free ones out there. There's a few where you can get a trial, and it's worth just having a look and seeing what's about. And seeing what has been about previously. I'm happy to talk to anyone about that in more detail. Like I said, we'll do a separate video on tendering and how you can kind of maximize your chances of winning a big opportunity. So I think that's it for today. So I just wanted to give a quick overview on what we do to kind of find opportunities, and we'll go into it in a little bit more detail. So if you're interested in finding out more, then you can like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on the normal socials, and in the coming weeks we'll do a bit more in this area, and we'll look at how you can maximize your chances of winning tenders and winning opportunities, and securing yourself repeat business, etc., etc. So get in touch if you have any questions in the meantime. Otherwise, we'll catch you on the flippity flop.